Welcome to Leading Life, the show all about living to the fullest and leading life on your terms.
You will learn tips, tools, and strategies for achieving total personal transformation.
I'm Bren.
And I'm Cam.
This is Leading Life. Hello and welcome to another episode of Leading Life, the podcast all about, oh, you heard the intro, you know what the show is about. Cam, how you feeling today?
Dude, I'm feeling so good. I'm ready to bring this topic to you guys.
Yeah.
And this is fun because it's the very first time we actually have someone helping us with the live stream. We haven't gotten that ever, so.
Yeah. The past couple live streams have been tough for us because we don't know exactly what we're doing. But we've got our friend Chris here. Chris, say hello. Chris, you hear us? Oh, he's got the headphones on. He's pretty into it right now. Chris, say hello. There he goes. He's saying hello. All right, so Chris's job basically is to just help us out with the live stream. We're happy to have him here. But let's get on with the show, Cam. How's your week been first? Let's get a little personal with our people here.
My week has been really good. We actually have my buddy from Texas coming up to Canada, and we're going to be making a show. We're making a show, and it's going to be so exciting with Implicit visuals. And the script that we're making it with, I've had for so long, and it's a good script, and all of you guys are going to love it. Honestly, it blows my mind, the script. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's like this kind of thing that we've been remaking and rewriting for like 3 years almost. It's going on 3 years, the same script. And we're finally going to make it happen. We finally have the resources. We have the people with the passion enough to like make this thing happen. Oh, I'm so excited for it. That's really like where my mind's at right now. What about you, man?
Good stuff. I'm happy for you, man. Actually, I've been working a lot on the Implicit Records side of things. I've had Julie Ross in the studio recording a couple tracks. I've had Rick in here doing. We got a chance to record some accordion and stand-up bass and stuff. So stuff I've never done in the studio before. So I'm pumped. You know, I got my record coming out soon, and everything going on with Implicit is just amazing. So I'm excited to get into this.
Yes, man. With our morning motivation stuff that we do every day on Facebook. I've been told by people that like we're actually like changing their lives. We're actually helping them like get through their day, and it's just, oh man, hearing that makes me so happy, and I'm so grateful.
That really blows my mind because I mean, I've never thought, you know, my experiences, my life experiences could help other people until, you know, we started actually sharing it, you know. And I think if you're listening to this podcast and you've thought about sharing your personal experiences with people, I think you should actually do it because who knows, you might be able to help anybody out there. And so try it out.
Absolutely. All right. So for this topic, this is one that we like kind of touched on in episode 2. It was I'm going to sneeze 1 sec. Okay. Maybe not. No, we're good. Okay. The Optimist versus the Pessimist. This is fun because it's like a brawl, man, because like there's these pessimists who say optimism is just, you know, ignorance is bliss, and it's you're not really like being real. But then there's the optimists who are saying, oh, you're just complaining about everything for no reason, blah 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 blah, and like it's this big battle, you know what I mean, this friction. And I kind of want to just like talk about how there's good in all. I'm being the optimist in the fight versus the optimist versus the pessimist, you know. So it's going to be an interesting topic. What are your thoughts on this, first of all, man?
Well, first of all, I love this topic. I think we've talked about doing something like this like months ago. We talked about doing some sort of podcast episode on this. So I'm pretty pumped about it. The optimist versus the pessimist, man. And I like this because I've been on both sides. I've been the optimist for a lot of, you know, my life, and I've also been the pessimist like for probably just as much time. I've spent a lot of time on both sides, and so I think I'll have, you know, lots to say about this.
Absolutely. For me, man, what really changed my life was seeing The Secret. I mean, I didn't really get everything I wanted out of life, but I was happy. I was positive. The second I saw that movie, they just explain that when you're negative things come to you. When you're positive things come to you. It's like a law of the universe. And I definitely am calling dibs on talking about the law of attraction because that has changed my life as well. But when it comes to positivity and negativity, that movie changed my life because it just made so much sense. Like, quit being negative, basically. And I'll give you a bunch of reasons why you shouldn't be negative because, I mean, look, it's good to see what's there, and a lot of people, like, they'd call me a pessimist when I say, oh, this is gonna happen, this bad thing's gonna happen. But really, I'm just being prepared. I'm just preparing myself for what's gonna come. You know what I mean? It's like being an optimist. Some optimists are ignorant, and ignorance, I will cover that as well. And there's just so much for this topic, so I guess we'll just dive deep right now.
I guess so. I mean, let's just go for it.
Okay, so first of all, let's talk about realism. Okay, when it comes to realism, realism is a joke, honestly, because no one really knows what's gonna happen.
What I love about realism is it's like, okay, realism is based in reality, right? Like, but my question is, whose reality, right? Because I believe, like, there's 7 point whatever billion people on this planet. That means there's 7 point whatever billion different realities, different perspectives, different worlds, different universes. You know what I mean? And so when people say, you know, be realistic or base that in reality, I'm just thinking, like, whose reality? Because what's possible for one person is impossible for another person, and then for another person, they'd never even thought of it, you know?
Absolutely. Like I never thought it'd be realistic to run my own business. You know, I never thought it'd be realistic to be in a band and actually go touring. Like, that was my dream as a kid, you know, and it blew my mind. So it's good to be realistic. Obviously, it's good to know what's there, you know, but at the same time, when it comes to optimists, when they see realism, they see realism as anything is possible. That's basically because anything is possible. That is what's real. It's been proven time and again. Like, so many people are doing new things every day. So many people are proving realism is a joke. There's people who are playing video games making millions of dollars a year. Just playing video games. There's people, like, videotaping them opening up Disney toys. I've seen that. Like, one of the biggest YouTubers just opens Disney toys for a living.
Just unboxing videos.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. And it's mind-blowing. Anything is possible. You can make money sitting in a room meditating all day, probably. Just, like, figure out a way to monetize that. And this isn't all about money, obviously. This is just about creating the life that you want to live, leading the life that you want to live.
Yeah, and I think the key to leading, like, a great life, just an amazing life, it's really two things. Like, you are happy, for one, and you make other people happy, right? Your needs are taken care of, and at the same time, simultaneously, you're serving other people's needs, right? Because I think if your career or your job, your business, whatever it is literally just you taking care of yourself, serving yourself, while just screwing everybody else over, like, screw everybody else, I gotta take care of me, like, I'm sorry, you're a failure, right? If you're not contributing to society or civilization or to anything, right? Contribution's a huge part of that.
Well, yeah, I stress contribution all the time because that is, like, the reason we're all here is contribution. If everyone had the mentality of take, no one would be here. You know what I mean? We've all done our part, and we need to keep doing our part. You being on this planet, you know, like, just pay back, you know? Plant a tree.
Yeah.
You know?
And paying back doesn't have to be hard. Like, it's just like I said earlier, share your message, like, share what you've learned, share the life lessons that have taken you from, you know, here to there, from depressed to happy, from, you know, uncertain to certain. Just share what's helped you, and that could help other people. I mean, I say this because that's what I'm doing now, but not only that, the reason I'm doing this right now is because other people have shared their experience through books, through podcasts, through movies, through music, through film, whatever it is, right? And that's what has fueled me to learn and grow and share that with other people. But Cameron, my question is, what does this have to do with the optimist versus the pessimist?
Okay, so it has everything. Everything has everything to do with optimist versus pessimist. To start off,
everything has everything.
Everything has everything to do, man. Like, honestly, because here's the thing. Everything in life is being filtered through us, you know? Like, every sound hits your eardrum and, like, does a little vibration which sends an electrical signal to the brain, which creates this thing called sound, which literally doesn't exist in the real world. It only exists in here. Sound is, you know what I mean? It's non-existent unless there's a brain to perceive it. Same thing with like your vision. That, like, I heard that everything's upside down and your brain just turns it around. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Your brain and you are creating everything, and that goes with your thoughts as well. So you can look at the example of like a homeless person, two homeless people, all right? One person is a pessimist, one person is an optimist. The difference is their standards, honestly. I mean, obviously it's good to raise your standards, but don't just raise your standards and then not do anything about it. You know what I mean? So there's these two people. They're both homeless, all right? They're both like living in a 6-box apartment in the alleyway downtown, and one is happy, one is sad. Now here's the difference. One person is just focusing on everything that sucks in their life. Everything that sucks in their life. And I'll talk about this again because I'll talk about this a little bit later, because I know so many people who focus on everything that sucks in their life when there's so many good things out there. And then the optimist who's living in the 6-box apartment downtown is so happy to even be in this kind of country where he can just like walk to Tim Hortons, ask for an ice water for free. You know what I mean? When there's people across the planet who have to walk miles just to get a few gallons for their family. You know, like it just depends on what your focus is. That's what this is. It's straight up focus. Like,
yeah, I mean, when it comes to pessimist versus optimist, they're both human beings. They're both people. You know, they both have challenges. They both have triumphs. But it's really a matter of how you treat those experiences. Like you said, like, there's people making millions, billions of dollars who are upset. They're just pissed off. They're angry. They're depressed. They're sad. They wonder why their life is so crappy. It's like, and then, you know, people like you and me would be like, dude, you've got all that money. Like, think of all the freedom and opportunity you have. Like, you have the opportunity to do amazing things with what you have. But instead, you're taking the time to just complain. But then again, there's people who, you know, have nothing, like, to our standards, you know what I mean, in our country, the first world. There's people out there who have absolutely nothing, no food, no water. They have to go, you know, walk miles just to get water. You know, their family's sick. They've got all these problems. They were born in a poor country or something, and they're happier than we are. Like, how is this possible? This isn't some phenomenon. This is just a matter of it's just a matter of conditioning your focus, right? Like, focus on what you're grateful for rather than what you're ungrateful for.
Yeah. Like, I'll do a little experiment with you that Tony Robbins did. I kind of forget it. It was a while ago that I heard this, but here goes. Okay, so right now you're either sitting or you're at work or you're working out or you're in front of a computer, you're in front of a phone, or whatever you're doing. You're focusing on something. Now, there's two kind of things you can focus on: positive things or negative things. Now, if I was to tell you, all right, sit down there, and I want you to focus on all the problems in the world, all right, all the wars, all right, the refugees, the starving children, the poverty, everything, the global warming, the oil crisis, the economy crashing, everything. Like, just focus on just the worst thing possible, all right? Focus on how many people just got done dying of starvation since we started this. It's dark. It's very dark, but it's happening. Now, the difference between you feeling good about life or feeling bad about life is your focus. Now, I want you to focus on how many people were born. How many babies were born since we started this? You know, how many people's birthdays are today? You know, like, how many people are helping others? How, like it's crazy. If you look at all the charities that are doing such amazing things for these people, all the activists who are saving animals. I have a friend in Toronto who's doing that every single day, and it just blows my mind.
All the technological breakthroughs
absolutely,
that are curing diseases and saving people's lives. Like, this is all happening right now simultaneously as the bad. So good and bad, it's both there, right?
It's both there. It just depends on whether you're going to fix it or not. Gary Vaynerchuk is one of my main guys. I love that guy. And he says it in a rude way, but he just tells people, stop complaining about, like, bullshit. Essentially, he'll tell you, like, stop complaining. Because I have it right here. Do not complain if these two things are like in your situation, first of all, if you can control it. All right, so if you can control the situation, if you're complaining about being poor, but you're not doing anything about it, then you have no right to complain. Honestly, you have no right to just sit around and complain about it. And do not complain if you caused it. You know what I mean? If it's your fault that it's happening, don't complain.
Yeah, and I'll add another one. Like you said, don't complain if it's something you can control. Like, you're in control, you're not doing anything about it, so why are you complaining? And I'd add, why are you, like, don't complain if you can't control it. It's like, you've got nothing, you can't do anything about it. Why would you complain about it? It's like, what's done is done. You're literally just feeling bad about something that is there. Like, it's just there. It doesn't mean anything. You choose, am I going to feel good about this, or am I going to feel bad about this? Or am I going to feel neutral? Like, are you going to let it affect you?
Absolutely. It's straight up just all about your focus. Again, like, you can complain about world hunger, poverty, all these things, but if you're not doing anything about it, then what are you complaining for? Why are you complaining? Like, do something, man, because we can do this if we just stick together. Like, the amount of charities that were built, you think when they were just small, they thought they could make a difference, but really, they're doing amazing things. They're changing the world. You know what I mean? So complaining bugs me a lot. That's a thing about pessimists that just bugs me, man. It's because, like, there is so much to look forward to, so much to be happy about, and so many exciting things that you're living through that you're just complaining about.
Yeah.
Like this, for example, this guy, I was watching this video about oil, and this guy was talking about how, like, it takes, I don't know how much manpower or whatever to get this one barrel of oil to fill your car to bring you 30 miles or whatever, you know? And this is an example, all right? You pay $2 to drive your car 30 miles, and if you had to, and it's the equivalent of, it takes the equivalent of energy if you had to push your car 30 miles. It takes the equivalent of manpower to push your car. You know, like, and people are complaining that it costs $2 to drive 30 miles. It doesn't make any sense. We can drive, like, in a fraction of the time it took 200 years ago. Like, it took months to go from one end of Canada to the other, and now we're complaining about that. You know what I mean?
I got a question, okay? Do you think the people who are solving life's big problems right now, like solving world hunger, solving cancer, solving, you know, heart disease, solving the obesity problem, do you think these people who are solving these problems complaining about those problems? Do you think they spend their energy, like, you only have so much energy, do you think they spend their energy complaining about the problem they're trying to fix?
Absolutely. They are on a mission, man. They're on a mission. That's what it's about. Like, they're not thinking about the problem. They're thinking about fixing the problem. All right, the guys who are doing AUM films, the Cowspiracy, the What the Health, all these like the food stuff and all that, I can't see them sitting around and just complaining about the animal agriculture industry and the pharmaceutical industry. I can't see them doing that. No, man, they're on a mission. They are doing everything in their being. They're using all the resources possible to them to fix this problem. They're doing their best.
Yeah. And I got another question for you. Look, if you only have so much energy in a day, right? You wake up at whatever time, you wake up at 8 a.m., you go to bed at 8 p.m., okay? And you're going to sleep 12 hours. You're getting a lot of sleep, okay? You're getting a lot of rest. If you're only going to be awake for that long and you only have so much energy, where are you going to place that energy? Like, realize energy is a finite resource. Like, you could only really use so much of it until your body gives out or your brain gives out or you give out, right? Where are you going to put that energy? And a lot of us, like, we put our energy, we wake up and we complain that we slept in. And then, you know, we go to the kitchen and we spill something and then we complain that spilled. Or then, you know, somebody in our house didn't clean up after themselves and we start complaining about that. And then we get to work and we complain that we're a little bit later, that we didn't get there soon enough. Or then we complain that this person did that. And every time you complain, it's literally like you're just spending your energy. And instead of the word spending, I like to use the word investing. Like, you are investing your energy in negativity. Like, do you really want to invest your finite resource, like your time and energy, on something that you can't control and it's making you feel like shit? Like, is that where you want to put your energy? Or you make the decision, because you could literally you could change that. You could just, okay, instead of complaining, I'm going to put my energy on the opportunity instead of the obstacle. Right? I'm going to put my energy in optimism instead of pessimism. And I mean, while we're having this conversation, optimist versus pessimist, like, go and research your heroes, your mentors, the people who are, like, for me, some mentors of mine, Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, you know what I mean? Like, people like that. Invest some time into learning about them. Are they pessimists or are they optimists? I mean, maybe your mentor, your hero is a pessimist, and that's why you're a pessimist, and that's why, you know, your life isn't the way you want it to be. I don't know. But just be self-aware, you know, am I a pessimist or am I an optimist? Do I tend to look on the dark side of things or the bright side, the good or the bad? Because it's as easy as just making a choice. You make a decision. Nothing in this universe is good or bad. Like, I can't, like, slap you in the face and then, you know, you get a little, like, the slap says in your face, you know, this was pessimist, this is bad thing, or hey, this is a good thing. Terrible analogy, by the way. But you know what I mean? Like, nothing in this universe has any meaning except for the meaning you give to it. We talked about this before.
Absolutely,
right?
man. That, and like, everything boils down to being happy and enjoying life. Like, I don't care how rich I am, you know, I don't care what I have, I don't care if people love me, I don't even care about anything as long as I'm happy. All right, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters, man. Like, people talk, like, materialism, man, it's a joke. It's a joke. I mean, if you want material wealth, then go for it. But that is not really what you want. It boils down to a feeling. All right, I want this new car because it's going to make me feel something. All right, you don't want the car because you like the car. If I asked you, why do you want this car? You're going to say, oh man, it's the new 2016. It's awesome. It's got a nice color. Okay, why do you like that? Oh, because, like, it's cool to look at, and you know, I'll feel, like, confident in it. Okay, well, why do you want to feel confident? Because it makes me feel good. At the end of everything, it'll just be because it makes you feel good. As human beings, the only reason we're alive, the only reason we do things, is to go towards pleasure and get away from pain. Absolutely. That's why we procrastinate. That's what we talked about in the last episode, or the couple episodes ago. We talked about how the only reason you procrastinate is because you're comfortable. That's pleasure. And doing this thing is pain, right? So where was I? I just lost myself.
We just get in these tangents.
We do. But as I was saying, everything boils down to what's going on in here. Doesn't matter how rich you are. Guy with the 6-box apartment downtown and in an old abandoned alleyway or whatever near a dumpster, as long as he's happy, everything in his life is good.
Yeah.
The idea of ignorance is bliss is almost okay. I mean, to an extent. But if you're just happy with what you have, then it doesn't matter what you have. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. Like, if I was, like, I'm so happy that I live in this house. But if I was living on the street, like, it's... Oh, where was I going with that? I'm all over the place today.
I know what you mean, because Cameron, I'll save you here from... You gather your thoughts, get it together.
I will do that.
I'm just thinking, see, now where am I, Cameron? See, you're
like I said, everything
contagious.
boils down to what's going on in your head. Everything.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's just a decision. Like, you just got to make the choice, and it's your choice. Are you going to focus on the good, or are you going to focus on the bad? And I think, honestly, the biggest challenge for a lot of people is they don't even notice that they're a pessimist or an optimist.
Absolutely. Like,
they
we're
don't
not
even know, as like they just complain out of habit, or they just, you know, they just feel grateful and thank and all that stuff out of habit, right?
It's because we've been conditioned for that. You know, we've grown up in this, because, you know, when you're a kid, man, everything's given to you. Like, you don't raise yourself, you know what I mean? And you don't have to, like, you don't have to do anything to get raised by a couple parents, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to, like, pay them or anything. Like, you're born and they take care of you. They feed you, they give you a home, they do all this stuff for you.
Otherwise,
and you don't even have
to
say thank you. So that's just right there, that's the law of familiarity. You know, and the second that's gone, the second no one's taking care of you anymore, you start to feel like, oh, like, I mean, what now? Like, you know, like, no one's taking care of me. Like, this sucks. I'm depressed. Well, it's because you never really realize what you have until it's gone. You know, and that goes with everything here. Is you never realize what you have until it's gone. It's the law of familiarity, and it kicks in for everyone. That's why we're so sad and depressed in this amazing place where we have internet and phones and like all this stuff.
Yeah, actually, we got a question here in the comments. Our friend Richard Hoyt Evelyn asks, what is your thoughts on how you would like to be remembered?
Oh, for me, man, I couldn't care less. In all honesty, significance is not a thing for me. I don't really care about significance. What I really care about is just having an impact and actually like helping the world, because clearly there are a lot of problems that I want fixed. I'm not complaining about the problems. I just want them fixed. So for me, I just like to be remembered as that person who tried their best, like gave it their all and really made a difference. What about you, man?
Yeah, and he says here, as you mentioned, the materialism, like I feel a lot of people, they want to be remembered as somebody who was important. At the end of the day, it's the significance thing, right? It's like, I want to be known as somebody who, because I'm not here anymore, people are sad, or people, or because I was here initially, people are happy because I made a difference. And I think really for me personally, it's just legacy, right? I know when I'm gone, like the stuff that I have is not going to mean anything, right? It's my computers and guitars and cars and houses and all that stuff doesn't mean anything. I can't take it with me. All I could take with me, all I could take with me to the afterworld is who I've become, right? It's my soul, my spirit, who I am as a person.
And like the only thing you can leave behind is your impact.
And
the plant you tree.
The only thing you can leave behind is your impact.
The plant you tree. The tree you planted. The tree you planted is getting climbed by a bunch of kids. You know what I mean? Like you're like kids of younger generations and stuff like that. I think it's a Wayne Dyer thing. But no, like the only thing you have when you're gone is your legacy, and you've left behind something. What are you gonna leave behind? Because that's all that matters. Like you don't want to leave behind a bunch of cars and stuff. No, man, you want to, because it creates a ripple effect. Like Tony Robbins, man, somebody came to his house and just fed their family on Thanksgiving, and that created a thing in Tony Robbins' mind to the point where 20 years down the line, he's feeding 500 million people.
It's
that's crazy.
Yeah, millions of people, man. It's crazy, and it's just it just goes to show it's your legacy that matters. You can't take your car with you, but you could leave your family, your friends, humanity, you could leave them behind with something that is lasting, a legacy, a lesson, impact, right? You change the world. Anyways, we got another question in here from Nadine Crispo, and she asks, how do you stay positive instead of complaining about mundane things? How do you flip them into positive things? Great question.
That is a great question. Honestly, I think I did right. Yeah, right here. Okay. So first of all, you want to see it for what it is. All right. If you woke up and you stubbed your toe, just look at the situation. Okay, I stubbed my toe. What does this mean? Obviously, first of all, I can't change it. It just happened. Like I can't go back in time and like make sure I didn't stub my toe. So let's not let it ruin my day. First of all, I love that Hal Elrod, man. People are getting the tattoo on their arm saying, can't change it. So every time something happens, they look at their arm, they're saying, all right, I cannot change this. Let's make the best of this. Hal Elrod, he was in the hospital, and they told him he was never going to walk again. And he told himself, like 5 minutes later, he was like, all right, can't change it, man. There's nothing I can do about it. Let's make the best out of this. The way to flip it for me, man, I just think of the benefit. Like Napoleon Hill says, for every adversity, every failure in your life, every obstacle creates an equal benefit, an equal like success or whatever. It plants the seed for an equal benefit. So if I was to stub my toe, that's going to help me just as much as it sucks. If I fall on my skateboard, I just learned one way not to fall. Or if I fall the same way, I know to put my hand in front of my face so I don't hit my face, So everything boils down to a learning opportunity. Just like we had a morning motivation about how when something happens to you, when you fail, when you fall, or something bad happens, the only thing that changes the situation is you. You get to like, the choice is yours whether you want to say, all right, I'm gonna learn from this, or all right, this really sucks and I'm just gonna dwell and I'm gonna let it ruin my day. Because honestly, the only person ruining your day is you. People can bully you. People can hate you. You can stub your toe. You can fall on your skateboard. But the only person who gives that meaning, who gets sad about it, gets depressed, is you. Like, there's nothing. We've been convinced that we're diagnosed with depression. We are physically, like, there's something in our brain that's not wired right. That is such. It's a lie, honestly, because it bugs me, because I love people and I see them, like, they truly believe that they're depressed. They truly believe that something in their mind is messed up, and it's been proven time and again that that's not true. It's just a pattern in your brain, and Tony Robbins has done this with countless people.
Yeah, and there's people. Yeah, and I like what you said there. Obviously, like, that could start a debate right there, you know, because a lot of people genuinely believe, you know, like, no, I'm just messed up. Like, my brain's messed up or my body's messed up. I'm just a depressed person. I can't change it. And literally, you just made a decision. So the odds that you're gonna make it better, your doctor's gonna make it better, some pill's gonna make it better, it doesn't matter, because you've made the decision already that you're sad, you're depressed, you're pessimist. You've made that decision, and so nothing out there will change that until you decide, until you make a new decision that maybe I am depressed right now. Okay, I'm not happy the way things are right now. You know, doctor tells me I'm not happy. Thanks, doctor. I didn't need you to tell me that. I already knew, right? Yeah, I didn't need your pills. I already knew I wasn't happy. What are you going to do about it? Obviously something needs to change.
Absolutely.
Right? Something.
And if you truly believe that it's something wired in your brain, then that's true. Because our mind listens to our body listens to our mind, and our mind listens to our body. They're connected. The second we think our disease is incurable, then you're right. I said this in the last episode, I think, that the guy who got death counseling, when he, on accident, like, the doctor messed up paperwork and sent him to a death counseling thing when he didn't even have a disease. And the day after that death counseling thing, where he was literally told he was going to die, and he was, like, getting consoled by this therapist about death, day after he died. And he had no disease. And then this is just one example. It's all over the place. The second I had food poisoning on Christmas, the second I just shifted in my mind, I told myself, all right, this is bull. I'm so powerful. I can get this out of here in 10 minutes. And it was gone. Stop vomiting, stop the nausea, stop the fever. It was gone. I felt amazing.
Yeah.
And that goes with depression. The second you think something's weird in your mind, the second you think there's a problem with you, then you're right. If you think you have an incurable disease, you're right. If you think you have a curable disease, you're also right. That's a Ralph Smart quote.
And it's been proven time and time again. And I think if you have trouble getting a grasp of this and really believing that what Cameron just said, like, just do your research on people who have changed it. Like, get some evidence to back up your new belief, you know, because if your belief right now is, you know, I'm depressed and I can't change it, you know, I'm a pessimist and I can't change it. Why? Where's your evidence? Well, I'm sad every day. You know, I don't treat myself right. I hate myself, and the doctor says I'm bipolar, you know, ADHD, depressed person, whatever it is, right? Though that's just evidence backing up one belief. If you want to change that belief, if you want to change your life, go find some evidence to back up your new belief, you know, to back up the belief that, okay, I can cure this. I can change this. I can change my life. It's just a matter of making a new decision and consciously, like, effort. There's so much effort.
Much effort. Like, effort for everything we tell you. 100%. Just do your best. That's huge. When it comes to like listening to your doctor and listening to all these whatever bad studies about ADD and stuff like that, really it just boils down to certainty. When you have certainty in somebody, when you give them the power, then they have control over you. Like, because there were so many drugs. Like, Tony Robbins talks about this drug that was prescribed for like 5 years or something like that to all these pregnant women, and like, I think something like 2 million pregnant women were affected and had miscarriages and like the reproductive stuff, because this pill that a doctor thought would work just ruined their life. Literally just changed their life forever, for the good or for the bad, whatever. It just completely ruined their life. And that's just an example of, don't always believe what you've been told. You know,
make a decision instead of just believing what you've been told. Even instead of believing what we're telling you right now, like, make a decision. Mm-hmm. Like, is this it? the question I ask before I make a new decision or I adopt a new belief, the question I ask is, how will this serve me? If I could go back to what Nadine asked earlier, she asked, how do you stay positive instead of complaining about mundane things? How do you flip them into positive things? First thing I say is, like, if I, using your example too, you stub your toe. Okay, I stub my toe. First thing, like, automatic thing is like, oh shit, this sucks. Like, first thought is, oh, this sucks. But then you got to switch it instantly, right? It's just having that self-awareness to say, okay, that hurt, automatically. First things first, I go to Pessimist because, that's my habit right now when it comes to getting injured. And just switch that to ask, what's great about this? What's the best thing about this right now? Like, how could I turn this into something good? Like, we talked about this in the last episode, right? When our grandfathers passed away. We've lost both our grandfathers in a matter of a couple years. And a lot of our family, a lot of people took it, and got really sad. Like, they did not take the news very well, right? But me and Cam at first, same thing, it was like, oh no, like, this is tragic, right?
You'll never be able to see him ever again.
Never be able to see him. And then we just go over with all these, negative ideas like, oh, this is a bad thing, this is a bad thing, this is a bad thing, until we decide to switch it to, okay, instead of these bad things, this pessimist attitude, we started to think, okay, what's good about this? Like, what's great about this? What can I learn? What kind of, and this also goes back to what Richard asked too about, how do you want to be remembered? I asked myself, how does my grandfather want to be remembered?
Well, what blew my mind, man, was seeing how many people were there to support him at his funeral.
Yeah.
Like, that's a guy you want to, like, what do you call that? Learn from. Absolutely. Because I looked at it, I was like, okay, all right, so there's like a few hundred people at this guy's funeral. They all love him very much. What's he doing right? He's obviously doing something right. He's obviously a nice person. He's made an impact that I couldn't even believe. Like, I didn't even know. He's impacted all these people's lives.
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, so he's a funny guy, first of all.
Hilarious.
He was always cracking jokes at the worst times, at the best times,
Yeah.
He's always there being that positive guy. Like, it's mind-blowing. Even at the funeral, like, me and Brenna were cracking jokes, making fun and, like, kind of talking about stuff that he made fun of and, like, stuff like that. And even his brothers were brothers were cracking jokes. His nephews were cracking jokes about him, like, oh, this guy, when he was a kid, he was doing all this, you know what I mean? Or we were always out for dinner, and he'd always just, like, make fun of the waitress in front of her face, like, as a joke, obviously.
Yeah, like, just, tease the waitress and play. Yeah, it's fun stuff. And, like, one thing I always remember is just, like, his like you said, his humor. And it's just, what else could I learn from him? His humor, it made people smile. He had this impact on people. And, like, those are good things. But obviously, when you're caught up in the moment, when you just stubbed your toe or your loved one just passed away, first thing in your head is, oh no, my toe hurts. Or, oh no, I lost this person I love.
Yeah.
Right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. And that doesn't mean you're a pessimist. It's just, right off the bat, you're like, oh, okay, that's unexpected. And it's not good something I wanted to happen.
It's healthy to be sad like that sometimes. Like, you don't want to be that guy where, like, world's crashing down and you're just like, ha, this is awesome. Look at this. They're all happy. Everybody's dying. It's good. No, you obviously, being sad is healthy. Crying feels good sometimes. Feeling bad with somebody, connecting with others and, like, crying with them feels good. Like, you need that. And that goes to show, like, everything in your life, like, any bad thing, any problem or any failure, whatever, it's 20% complaining, 20% focusing on the problem, 20% being sad about your loved one, and 80% solution / let's make the best out of this. 80% of everything should be positivity and trying to get the best out of it.
And what, I would argue with you on this because I would say there's no way we should give 20% of our time to the problem. I think 5% tops, but that's just a matter of opinions and whatever. But really, like, why would you want to live there? Like Cameron said, it's healthy. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be, to see it for what it is. Loved one passed away. This did happen. It is the truth. I'm not happy about it I'm not. But that's 5%. Okay, I'll take 5 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes to be upset. And then from there on, it's like, okay, like we got to move on. We got to make the best out of this. We got to learn the lessons that need to be learned.
Yeah, and that's
right?
what Hal Elrod did with his Can't Change It.
Yeah.
He'd like set a timer on his phone. Anytime something bad happens, and this isn't me, go check out his podcast. This guy's awesome. I
Yeah,
don't want to steal this from him.
He's taught us lots.
But yeah, you set a timer on your phone. Give yourself like 5 minutes and say, all right, for this 5 minutes, I'm going to feel really, really bad. I'm going to complain. I might cry. I might throw things, whatever it is. I'm just going to be really angry. Okay. But after those 5 minutes, you're done. Cannot change it. There's nothing. There's no going back. Time machines don't exist. As far as I know. I wish they did. It'd be hilarious. But no, you cannot go back in time. You cannot redo this. You cannot change it. So that's all it is. You set that timer, and then after that, it's done. And that'll help you become positive. It'll help you because you're just like, all right, I had my time to complain.
Yeah,
why am I complaining now? You know.
And this one goes out to Nadine because she asked, what do you do to stay positive? Like, how do you flip to a positive state when something negative has just happened? Set a timer, okay? Give yourself 5 minutes to feel negative. Like, okay, there you go. I've had my 5 minutes of bitching and complaining. Now it's time to just like switch, like a light switch, okay? Switch to the positive side. Start feeling grateful for the memories that you've had, or start feeling grateful for your toe, or start feeling grateful for anything. And that's my cure to pessimism right there. It's gratitude. If I'm not feeling happy or good, or if I'm pissed off about something, I just think, okay, like, why am I grateful for this? You know what I mean? Like just before this podcast, we were having a bunch of problems getting the live stream going, and we're trying new things and everything. And I went to my room for a second. I was just like, okay, am I stressing out right now? I thought, wait a minute, like, I'm so grateful. I got Cameron in the next room ready to do this and help people and share our message and share what's helped us. We got Chris here, like, totally volunteering to show up and help us out. Like, so grateful for Chris.
Yeah, thank you again, Chris.
You just start thinking about the gratitude, and it totally switches everything. It puts you back into that state that you want to be, that positive state, because nobody wants to feel bad. Nobody wants to feel like crap.
And if they do, then that makes them feel good. It's like, I want to feel bad so I can feel good. Either way, everything you do is to feel good. All right? If you want to feel sad, then that means you want to feel good because you like being sad. That kind of thing. No one wants to feel bad. And that's basically... And I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sum up a few things. I'm going to sum up optimism in... I'm going to count how many words this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9 words. I'm going to sum up optimism in 9 words. I need to read this. Focus on the good and fix the bad. That's all it is. Focus on what's good and fix the bad. Don't complain about the bad. Fix it. If you're going to complain about it, then you have to, like, don't complain about it otherwise. Unless you're going to fix it, don't complain about it. It's we said this in episode 2. We said, like, optimism is like flashing this light. All right, you're in this room and you got a spotlight and you can only see what's in the spotlight. Pessimism is like focusing on the dirty areas of the room, like the spider in the corner, the broken tile, the dirt on the ground, the dust everywhere. Optimism is like turning on the light in the entire room, but really just like looking at all the good things, like and fixing it, clean the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
clean the room, dude.
Yeah,
like,
Jesus.
So many people just want to complain and bitch and complain. It's like, dude, like, clean the room. Like, do something about it. Like we talked about this earlier. It bugs me so much when somebody is just complaining, and they're spending all their time complaining and spending 0 time trying to fix what they're trying to what they're complaining about. It's like, dude, like, you have the power, man. Like, you could do this. Like, just do it now, right?
Yeah, exactly. And another way, Tony Robbins had this going on, another way to, like, change the way you feel about something is decide what it's going to take to do that. He's got this thing called the quality quantifier, which is like, I wish I had an app for that or something, because, like, it's amazing. Really, you just think, all right, so in this situation, I have to go to work. All right, so, like, what is work for me? It's like a -5, like, I don't really like it that much. What can I do to fix it? Just make the decision, and that's all it is. It's making decisions. What can you do to make it better? What, are you going to listen to music at work? Are you going to smile at work? Are you going to actually talk to your coworkers? Stuff like that. Figure out what you're going to do to enjoy the process. When it comes to doing the dishes, throw some headphones in. Nobody likes dishes. I mean, like, if you like dishes, do mine. But
Yeah, come on over.
no, but yeah, nobody likes dishes. So like, throw some headphones in and listen to some positive material while you're doing it. Nobody likes. Some people don't like having to walk across town. Throw some stuff in your ears and like listen to music while you do it. Or if you can't do that, I don't know, think about how grateful you are to be alive. Think about how nice the weather is, stuff like that.
Switch your focus.
Absolutely. Okay, so to wrap this up real quick, we're not gonna like wrap it up completely, but I just want to say, I just want you guys to know how lucky you are. We did a morning motivation about this, how lucky we are to just be alive, how lucky you are to even just be watching this. It's unbelievable, man. And we need to quit taking it for granted. I'm not here attacking you saying you're a pessimist, you're taking everything for granted, you're doing everything wrong. No, I'm just saying that we are so lucky. Like Gary Vaynerchuk said, what if your mom was tired that night? What if she was just like, no, we'll do it tomorrow? You wouldn't be here at all. You wouldn't even have a chance to think, bro. Like, you're a cell.
Someone else would have won the sperm race.
Exactly, 100%. So just focus on how grateful you are to be alive. If I was to give you $1 million for your teeth, and you cannot buy any other teeth, man, you're teethless for the rest of your life, would you take that $1 million?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, no, exactly. That means you're a walking millionaire and you don't even know it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? If you wouldn't sell your teeth for $1 million, then just be grateful that you have them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna take one more. We're gonna take a bonus question.
Oh, one more.
A bonus question. This is from Richard, and he asks, who would you both say are your mentors?
Okay.
Who would you say is your mentor? Cam.
For me, man, Wayne Dyer is probably my main guy because he was focused on happiness and contribution. And I think that's all that matters. Wealth doesn't matter, like, in my opinion. Sure, I want to have this money so I can give, but what really matters is contribution to me, contribution and happiness. The guy was extremely happy, man, and he was so grateful for his life, and he loved everybody, and he was focused on contributing. He was focusing on contributing, and like he said, you know what? I'm not gonna be bummed that, you know, my new book isn't on a bestseller list somewhere. I know that once I'm gone, the souls that have yet to materialize will get value from this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? So, like, people born 10 years from now will be changed by Wayne Dyer's message. Obviously, he's done something right with his life. He's made a tremendous impact. It's ridiculous. What about you? 100%. What's your mentor, man?
Man, I got so many mentors from afar, you know, mentors who have read their books, watched their videos, listened to their audios, whatever it is. Number one, though, is Tony Robbins. Like, he's the number one guy in his industry. He's just affected so many people, and he's got it down to such a science where it's like, you sit down and talk with this guy and like you will never be the same. Like, you cannot. It just blows my mind. Like, I would not be here in front of this microphone right now if it weren't for listening to Tony Robbins audios like 8 hours a day. Like, I'm cutting grass, I'm cutting down trees, I'm working at this job I hate, just like not happy with my life, and just listening to his audios, it completely changed my perspective. It completely changed the way I think. And that's why I'm able to sit here in front of this camera and this microphone and have this conversation with you, because you've same thing with you. You just spent so much time digesting this material and learning and growing and testing it. And so Tony Robbins, I mean, I got to say Ralph Smart, Hal Elrod, you know, Gary Vaynerchuk, like, who else? Anthony Cheam, right? Napoleon Hill. There's just so many mentors, and I don't think it matters so much, you know, who's number one, as much as it's just I learn from everybody. And my dad, honestly, is one of my greatest mentors. Like, I love my dad. He taught me so much of just like what not to do. It's amazing. Like, I love my dad.
Yeah, I love him too. Yeah.
I think we got to wrap it up. What do you think about that, Chris? We're ready to wrap this up. We're gonna roll the outro.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so this was an awesome episode.
I had fun.
I'm very happy we did this. 100%.
We're a little all over the place, but we got some great engagement through the we got some really great engagement through our Facebook Live here. We got some great comments, guys. So thank you for your comments, seriously. And thank you for your questions. We want to do more of this. In fact, on the next episode, we're going to have your questions. We might. I don't want to make any promises here, but we're trying to get your questions to roll up on screen so that we could get you on the show. So thanks again for listening, watching, engaging, sharing, liking, commenting, subscribing, following, all that good stuff.
Absolutely, man. This has been so much fun. And thank you again, Chris, because you saved us so much trouble. When we live stream, like, it's so difficult for me to like say things and click buttons at the same time. This has been a breeze, and I'm very happy for it. So like, thank you so much. All right, so yeah, like you said, look us up on the social media. We want to connect with you, and just I really hope you got value from this episode.
Totally. Don't forget to go review on iTunes. This is the best way you could help us get this out there. And have a beautiful day. Peace.